let's talk about saw blades and how having the right blade for the right job will help you improve your projects. Freud have kindly sent me a mixed selection of saw blades to use and review, so I can tell you why I think these blades are so highly rated. In comparison to a standard cheap saw blade, what do Freud have to offer? It's red, it looks cool, but once you get close enough to the blade to see its design, you can see what engineering feats this Italian company have put into their saw blades. The blade's steel body is much thinner than a standard blade, allowing less friction when you're cutting through material. The teeth are layered with silver and copper with a carbide tip, so the red on the blade isn't just a nice paint job, it's their perma-shield coating. I first used a Freud blade about 6 years ago. I started to notice that my regular lower quality blades were just getting dull so quick that I was replacing them faster than I would do if I'd spent the money on a Freud blade. So once I'd gone to the merchant store, picked up a Freud blade and put it in my saw, I had to double check that I was actually cutting into the material because that thing glided across the material. It was quite a bit of a shock to not have any drag resistance or loud annoying sounds of saw blades. The two main points I saw that drew me towards Freud to start off with was the increased runtime and the reduced friction on materials, and those things can make a big change in your day when you're really cutting through a lot of stuff. And Freud is still releasing more modern, updated, engineered blades. I always love the first cut of a new blade, but sometimes that doesn't last very long when you get lower quality blades. With the Freud blade that I've been using in my circular saw, I've been using this loads of times cutting through hard chipboard, tough materials, just any horrible stuff that you don't really want to touch with a brand new blade, but somehow it still feels like a brand new blade. You can definitely notice when a saw blade starts to go dull, you end up pushing hard against the tool. It could be binding, it could be warping the material, your cuts are not straight, they're squiggly like spaghetti. You could have your boss on the phone calling you saying, "You've done a terrible job, I need you off my job site immediately." But that has never happened for me because I use the Freud blades. So even if you've used a Freud blade for months and months on end, cutting through multiple different materials, you can still notice that there's not a lot of drag when you're cutting through material. One thing Freud pride themselves in their design is having all these different aspects of a saw blade put together into one unit. So I've had a saw blade in my saw and I've done probably about 6,420 cuts with it. It still feels like a really good saw blade. Low drag, low heat, low friction, increased usage on my power tools. Like, not only does this blade help itself, it helps the tool that it's in. If you're running cordless tools, you want your battery to last longer. You don't want your battery to be overloading a dull blade. The Freud blades keep it clean, keep it fast, keep it accurate, keep it neat, all these really good things into just one saw blade. A lot of the materials that I use on the construction site are MDF, plywood, chipboard flooring, and a lot of those materials don't contain much wood. A lot of it's glue, and that glue residue can clog up your blade really fast. So here is just a standard saw blade that I've used previously. Now, these little dip sections here, I think they're valleys or gullies or something, they can trap a lot of residue from the material, it being glue, plastic, or just dust. Freud's blade, they still have these gullies, but they are not as vertical, and they do have a really steep angle as they go up to every tooth. Now, every tooth is also a lot taller, and you can see the difference in shape. The gullies are a lot shallower, but the teeth are a lot taller. This gives you more cutting ability and less room for dust and residue to settle in the blade and cram it up. So Freud have eliminated that issue, and they've also put other things in design, like these pressure slots just here. This means when the blade is going really fast and is cutting through material that might make it heat up, it's not going to warp the blade. So I wanted to do a little test on durability. Now, I'm not going to be using one of the brand new blades that Freud have given me. I'm going to use a Freud blade that I've had for a few months now. And what exactly can I do to a blade that will really push its limits? What I have is a length of wall plate. This is just a small little 600 piece. I've got 8 first fix nails put in there. Did these by hand, so you can still see the heads are proud. And I'm going to be basically slicing down this and just see how much damage and how tough these blades are. That's the first time I've ever done a test like that, cutting through 8 first fix nails with a blade in the hopes that the blade survives. And having a look at all the teeth on this blade, none of them are missing. There's no burning smell. There's nothing. There's not even any burn marks. There's a couple of little like score marks, but there's no burn marks on this. And I went full depth, just straight through this block timber with the nails. Saw a couple of sparks fly, but I didn't really feel any distress from the blade, no horrible sounds, no kickback from the blade. I don't intend on cutting through any more nails like through my general job, but if you are going through a demolition sort of aspect with these blades, you know that these are capable and you can still give a decent cut when you're doing it. Freud have the highest standard of saw blades and cutting technology, and they've really put this into every single product they release. These saw blades are incredible, and I'm not being paid to say that. They are some of the best out there, and no matter what saw you're running, they definitely have a size that will fit your needs. All the links are down below in the description. You can have a little click, look on their website, see all the different saw blade sizes, accessories, and different TPI for blades. My Instagram is also down below in the description. Please give me a follow, and also do consider subscribing to this channel and liking it with that little thumbs up button down below. Thank you again, Freud, and I'll see you in the next video.